Howdy, carnivores. We're back again for another episode of 700 plus and counting carnivore diet transformations. Um, Today, I think we're going to talk a little bit about kind of how me and Lindy got started on the carnivore diet and what we think it does for us individually. And then we are just going to, a little bit later on in the show, we're going to be taking questions. If you could mark your any questions you might have with a Q, that would be awesome. If you're new to the show, my name's Todd. 9 months ago, I was a little over 715 pounds, and carnivore has just turned everything around for me. I'm currently down to 468 pounds, got my mobility back off all medication, and things are going awesome. And so we're spreading the good news. And this is Lindy.
Yeah, I'm Lindy, and 22 months ago I weighed in at over 770 pounds. I don't know what my official weight was because I don't have scale or no scales available to actually get my official weight. So definitely up there. I'm currently down to 293 pounds in 22 months. Got my life back. Yeah, it's been amazing. It's been a transforming and exciting journey, and only halfway through, but I've got this feeling very strong. So, yeah.
And that's what this series is about. Me and Lindy have spoken, and we kind of met through YouTube and our kind of common experiences being in a very dark place where we didn't see anybody like us that had come back through any kind of diet from 700 pounds without some kind of weight loss surgery, and Lindy even had a weight loss surgery. And it
Yeah, I
didn't
had lap
work.
band surgery about 25 years ago. I was about around 300 pounds then, so I felt that I had to do something. I failed that too. So, yeah, I still got up to nearly 800 pounds, so it didn't really work for me. And I think it's just your emotional issues that didn't deal with my emotional eating. So you find the cheats to be able to beat that. So, yeah, it's more to life than the weight loss surgery doesn't work. You need the
For
whole
sure.
package.
Absolutely. And I've never had it, but my sister and my mom did. So I always knew not to, that wasn't the answer. So I was always looking for something different. And thank the Lord, both me and Lindy found carnivore, and it was after 30 years of me, 39 years of me being overweight, and I don't know, 50 for you, Lindy.
Yep, all my life I've been overweight. So,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
And so we finally found carnivore, and it was the absolute missing link for us, and it was as um, Dr. Ken Berry says, the proper human diet. It really started actually healing our body, and so that's what we're going to talk. That's what this series is about. But today we're going to talk about what specifically we think carnivore helped us the most with, and why it made the difference when all the standard American diet and SAD diets and all those calorie restrictive diets failed repeatedly. So um, let's see here. Prime and call on. Back
Yeah, we missed that one.
We did. We missed one. We're
We'll
being
have to watch the replay after
yeah.
our
We
stream.
just got busted. Yeah. For me, I
Yeah.
think that carnivore. I went through the keto kind of rabbit hole, and I think keto works for quite a few people. But I think some people even just depending on keto is such a wide bandwidth there of what keto means to you. Uh, I know that I tried it twice, and the first time keto was totally different than the second time I tried keto because the first time it was just all processed keto products like commercialized keto junk now that I know that, because one of the you know the draws to keto is that, well, you can make all these foods that you used to eat on your old diet, and you can make them like keto version of it if you just use erythritol and all these different sweeteners and all these different almond flours and all these different fiber flours and sugars. And that sounds good when you are a food addict. you can that you can make a healthy version of your drug, you know. So
Exactly.
that appeals to you, you know.
Well,
And
if
then
keto lasagna is healthy, I can have two helpings, can't I? Is
yeah,
that how it works?
exactly. Yeah,
I don't
right.
know.
right. Like, why not? If I was holding back, if I used to limit myself to 3/4 of a large pizza, now I can have two pizzas because it's keto pizza, you know?
Yeah, it doesn't address that moderation issue. Like, I'm definitely an abstainer. It's all or nothing for me, or it's a whole pizza for me. So whether it's keto or normal, it's still not going to work, is it, if you're not moderating? So yeah,
Totally.
definitely
Yep.
agree
And
about the recipe.
yeah, and you know, I knew that that was pulling me in some sort of, pulling me in some sort of direction back to the old habits, and whether it was just the process and going through the motions of the habit versus the actual food, or whether it was too close to the old taste and things that were keeping everything alive in my brain. I don't know what it was back then, but now I truly, truly believe one of the biggest problems with it is when you eat all that keto fake food, it's not, it's not nutrition, right? So we're still starving too. I'm finding that out more and more through this priming. I was like, man, it's because it's so counterintuitive to be 700 plus pounds and be malnourished. you
Yeah,
know, you're like, how can that possibly be? And it's
yeah,
because, well, and it's because I was made up of Taco Bell and I was 700 pounds of Taco Bell instead of actual nutrients. And
yeah.
so I think that made a difference for me. What about you?
Yeah, and what about with all these sweeteners and powdered egg whites and aren't they processed? To me, just crack an egg and use the egg whites. Like, I don't understand how that's not processed. And sugar, like all the artificial sweeteners, they're artificial. That's not real raw food. So I don't understand how, they say, if you keep just fruit and veg, I guess, and that works for you, that's great. But then you're adding all these other weird things. And to me, that seems processed. So I don't quite get how that
Yeah.
works. But yeah.
Well, and I'm finding out even on carnivore that even if I have too many carnivore products at once, that even, like if I go crazy and I have like bacon and eggs and, beef and beef broth and I just overload my stomach with all these different things, that even gets tricky. So I kind of find that, it's minimal, it's super minimal compared to what it used to be. But
Yeah.
so I think even if you had when you pulverize the food and it changes like the absorption rate and the digestion rate of the food, and I think at a certain point your body just doesn't even really recognize what it is. It absorbs at an unhealthy level that's not supposed to.
Mm,
Just because I was listening to, well, I was talking to my brother and he was like, man, I get a little bit sick when I eat peanuts. Like I feel a little bit off when I eat peanuts. But he goes, if I eat peanut butter, he goes, it's through the roof difference. And I was
yeah.
listening to a doctor on YouTube the other day, and he was saying, I used to eat kale salads and I didn't have a problem too much. I'd feel a little bit inflamed. But he said that I had a kale smoothie and I blended it and pulverized it. And he said, man, I had to take the day off work. I had to immediately spend the day in the bathroom because he said it pulverized all those nutrients. And so my body absorbed all the oxalates so quickly that I
Wow.
had that I took it on all at once. And so I think when you do keto products, I think anything like egg whites that are pulverized and freeze dried and all that stuff, I think there's just no way that our bodies,
Designed to eat
evolved
that.
or equipped, yeah, to deal with it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I don't like that at all.
No,
But I just found with carnivore, you pretty much, it's an extreme elimination diet, I guess. Coming from a bad diet, it's very extreme. But you basically go get back to basics And just if you wanted to introduce foods later, you just introduce one at a time and you can see what those foods, the kind of effects it has on your body. And I think I mentioned last week that we went out and I had a little piece of pumpkin at my mother-in-law's house, and that little piece of pumpkin stirred up the cravings. And I haven't had cravings in such a long time, so I think it might be the sweetness of the pumpkin. I found it very, very sweet, and that was enough to do my head in. And yeah, thankfully I was able to overcome that. But it was interesting to see how something as simple and innocent as a piece of pumpkin could do that kind of damage to my brain. So yeah,
Right.
definitely.
Right. It just it just whatever kicks this cycle or this habit or whatever it is. I don't know. I don't know for me if it was like you're just medicating something or if just like because I'm starting to find out it was also like the whole process. I found that out later through carnivore because I accidentally used those same craving processes of my habits that I made, and I
Mm,
started using them, and I ended up kind of having cravings for carnivore foods finally but kind of going through the same process. And so I
yeah.
think when you light up that process of whatever it is, like I don't know. It was weird when I was doing keto. If I ate keto in the car, that would throw me for a loop because I never ate anything good that was in the car. Anything I ate in the car was bad. That was
Yeah.
just a fact. And so just those funny little memories would, something would trigger just a little habit, forming deal, and it just kind of start putting the cravings back. But when I got on carnivore, that all went away. I mean, it was just done because it just, you just stop stimulating any of those sweet tastes. You stop stimulating any of the carbohydrates, and then in addition to that, you're no longer competing for digestive enzymes and room in your stomach to digest you know kale and celery and fake keto foods. Now you're getting all this protein and animal fat that's actually doing you good. And man,
Mm,
that seemed to be just the game changer for me.
yeah. If I sit down and have my steak and maybe some egg yolks or whatever, I feel satiated. It's like I have that off switch in my head, and I can go off and do whatever I like, live my life. I couldn't do that before. You would eat, and like within 15, 20 minutes, half an hour, you'll be searching for the next snack. It's like you're just always craving food, even though you weren't hungry. I don't know whether it was the habit of just wanting to eat or the comfort thing. But the cravings were just there, and they just wouldn't go away. It just seemed to consume me 24/7. Um, and that was difficult. I just don't have that anymore, that off switch. That's been a game changer for me. Um, yeah, and yeah, I just don't want to have that disappear on me now that I've found it. It's yeah.
Yeah,
Do you have
exactly.
that off switch now, or?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And yeah, and that's absolutely what it is because I didn't call it that. I didn't know, but I mean that's actually very true because in my mind when I was trying to break through these carb cravings and these old sweet habits, I had to make a deal with myself that I would before I would break, and go off the rails to some craving and order, like a $100 worth of DoorDash or something and go nuts. I would eat bacon and eggs or steak until I was completely stuffed because I'd learned about how there's basically two types of appetite suppressant in your body. One is leptin, and the other one is the stretch markers in your stomach lining. And I knew that through insulin resistance, we lose leptin sensitivity, so we're not getting that signal to the brain. So I was like, well, if I'm craving like pizza and tacos and all this soda and crazy stuff, I'm gonna eat enough bacon to hit those stretch markers and
Yeah,
shut that down and see if that works. So I made a deal with myself and I was like, we're gonna eat carnivore food and try to hit those stretch markers and wait 1 hour. And if I'm still losing my mind on these cravings, then I can go ahead and go off the DoorDash deep end, whatever binge I want. And that was
Yeah.
just a game changer for me because when I did that, I kept that promise to myself and I did it every time. And every time I would eat within 20 minutes, that whole anxiety and panic and craving and that crazy feeling where this craving's just taking over and occupying your whole brain. It's almost like it's taking over your brain. That just goes away. It just disappears and you're calmer and that whole wave is over. And then every time I do that, it never failed to not work. You know, not once did it ever fail. But what was crazy was after just like 3 months of doing that, I would have that same. I'd wake up with that cortisol that was making. I always seem to have cravings when I had a stressful cortisol, not sleeping good, had a stressful day, whatever. That would put me in a spiral. But then I started having a craving. I'd wake up and I'd be like, I want a ribeye, and I was like, wait, what? Did you say a ribeye? You know, because usually I wanted a pizza or crazy bread or cheese bread or tacos or whatever. And now all of a sudden I'm craving a ribeye. And I didn't even realize that I was reprogramming through kind of those same motions and processes of feeding a craving. I was doing that. I was just giving it a carnivore food and my brain was kind of getting tricked and it just started flipping over and craving that thing now to deal with the anxiety and stress and stuff. And so that was the biggest game changer. That gave me the biggest off switch now because
Mm.
now, I mean, it's a simple. I so relate to Bella now when she says how, I was just watching, she put a little video up about coming into the holidays and she said you got to keep a lot of carnivore food and eggs, but she said and just some cold butter will, take away any of the cravings. Yeah, and I mean that is so true. If I eat 1 tablespoon of cold butter now, like it is super satiating within 5 6 minutes.
Yeah.
You feel this energy and this calmness. It's crazy how fast that works now.
Yeah. What do you feel about like the carnivore ice creams and the other carnivore kind of recipes, carnivore mash and things that are coming out now? Is that something that you'd want to try or
For me personally, I'm not going to try anything but what I'm doing until I get to my goal weight. When I get to my goal weight, and I don't know what my goal weight is, I'm going to know when I get there because it'll feel right. But when I get there, then I feel like I'll try a couple, but I'm going to try very, very carefully one thing at a time.
mm,
And I'm going to try it maybe for a period of days without adding anything else in and then see what that does to me. And if it starts throwing me off the rails or bad things are happening, then I'm going to kick it aside. I want to say my gut feeling is I feel so free from all the food addiction. I feel like I could probably handle those things, but I've also lied to myself before and made bad mistakes by saying something like that. So until I
yeah,
get to where I want to be, I just don't want to even go backwards at all. But I don't know what's personally in those things, but I did buy when I was on keto. One of my favorite things that actually kind of helped me is Ken Berry's partnered up with Keto Chow and they have those shakes.
yep. Hmm.
So I used to get those, and my sister. That's how my sister did get basically on carnivore, get through her carb cravings, and those worked really well for her. And then
Hmm.
what I was doing is I bought that ice cream machine called the Ninja Creamy, and I was taking those shakes and I was putting it in the Ninja Creamy and making ice cream out of them. And it wasn't any different than drinking it, right? It was the same stuff, but I was just making ice cream out of it. Now, I was already by the time I decided to do that too much with those because I originally bought the ice cream maker to actually make like keto ice cream when I was doing it. But by the time, and I put it aside when I went ketovore to carnivore. But then after my sister started doing the keto chows, I was like, I bet one of those would be pretty awesome through the Ninja Creamy and ice cream. So I put one in there, and I did try that, but I was already pretty far along in ketovore, and almost to carnivore. So it didn't do
Yeah.
anything to me at all. I got energy out of it, but I just feel like you'd have to make sure that all your addiction, I don't know. Am I ever going to be completely free from the soda addiction? Like, could I ever get near it again and not go off the rail? I have no idea. But if I can't, that's why those things worry me. Like keto
Yeah.
and carnivore stuff because I just feel like that's gonna, and I don't miss it. Like I don't miss it right now. So I was like, I don't even know why I would really put it in there. I don't know what it's gonna do for me. You know?
Yeah, I feel the same. I just like to keep it really simple. If we have like social gatherings or whatever, then I'll pull out some of those things for just that occasion, and then make sure that there's no leftovers and get straight back on track after that. I think that's the way I'm going to cope with it because if it's in the house, it, I do like even just cheese. I love my cheese, and you shouldn't be having cheese as a meal. That's like you have a little bit for dessert if you want to have it, or a little bit as a topping. But I could sit and eat a whole block. Now that's not good. So
No, no.
it's just that moderation thing again. So I
Yeah,
know it's very dangerous.
totally. I used to sit there. I love Tillamook cheese is my favorite brand. Tillamook sharp, extra sharp cheddar, and extra sharp white cheddar. And I would
Mm,
get the slices of it from Costco, and it would be in these 2 pound packs, And I would sit there, and they'd have 25 slices in them or something. And I'd sit there while I was waiting for my steak to cook, and I'd just start eating slices of cheese. And then my steak would be cooking for 16 minutes, and by the time the steak was cooked, I'd eaten 2 pounds of cheese, you know?
yeah,
And I'm like, okay, that was pretty much, I did that a couple of times. I was like, all right, the cheese has got to go. This is not, it's
yeah,
not my wheelhouse.
yeah. Definitely having rules for yourself. Like have saving that for like an after your meal. Eat your protein and your fats first. You prioritize that nutrition, and then you can have the other stuff later. So definitely a good tip there.
Yeah, I'm just so bad at that. Like, I'm definitely with you on the abstainer thing. Like, if it's in
Yeah,
the fridge and something sparks in my brain, I'm like, it's carnivore. And I can just go ape on that. I haven't done that in so long, and that was at the very, very beginning of Ketovore, that I was doing that I don't think I would have that problem now because it's just so different. My appetite and everything is just so completely different now, and I don't have any cravings, and I don't ever. I mean, I fight all the time to get enough food now, the way it is. So I don't think I would do that, but man, I'm so happy where I'm at. I don't feel like tempting it. you know?
yeah. I think we got a couple of questions. Should we
Yeah, absolutely.
start there? What do you all eat in a day? Yeah, I'll eat in a
Oh, I'll put
day.
them up here on the screen.
Yep.
Let's see here. Want to take that one, Lindy?
Oh, I keep it simple at the moment. I'm priming, so I'm having the 3 meals a day. Um, I have normally scrambled eggs for breakfast with some butter, and then dinner and lunch I would either have. I'd have a steak for lunch, but sometimes I can't eat the whole steak, and I'll just have the leftovers at dinner time. So might be another couple of egg yolks in there, and that's about it. Sometimes I might swap out a steak and have a bit of salmon. Um, but yeah, I just love my beef. I don't have chicken. I find chicken doesn't fill me up, and I start craving foods afterwards. Like I just don't feel like it's filling enough. Whereas with it, when I have the steak, it keeps me fuller for much longer. Pork kind of makes me feel a bit unwell sometimes, so I kind of stay away from that. So just salmon and beef and eggs is really all I eat.
That's so funny, actually, because I started out at BBB&E, and if you don't know what that means, it means bacon, beef, butter, and eggs. And I was doing that, and I was doing OMAD, and I did that for a little over 9 months. OMAD being one meal a day, and I would eat some combination of all of those, and it was always right around, you know, depending on if I was not hungry, I would eat somewhere around 1,700 to 1,800 calories worth of food, right around a pound, pound and a half of food. If I was really hungry, somewhere around 2,500 calories, around 2 pounds of food, and it was always somewhere in that wheelhouse. And but then, just like Lindy said, I started realizing that I don't feel that great on pork when I eat bacon, sausage, ham, those things. Just
Mm,
was not settling well for me. Like it wasn't terrible. It wasn't wasn't like sugar and carbs would do to me, make you miserable, but you just didn't feel optimal. You know that you feel better eating beef, and you start getting really kind of addicted to that feeling. How when you eat, you just feel kind of
Yeah,
just energized, and everything feels bright, crisp.
yeah,
Yeah, and I started getting kind of addicted to that. So now I'm not really eating pork anymore. I found out before, even when I was on keto, I found out I can't do chicken. Chicken does not agree with me at all. So yeah, basically the only I like lamb. I feel good on beef. I feel good on, and particularly I don't feel good on cooked salmon that much. I mean, it's not bad. It's really close, but raw salmon I feel great on. Like if I just have like sushimi raw salmon with just the salmon, that I feel
mhm,
great on. Like I get a huge
yeah.
energy rush. And I don't know
Um,
why that is.
yeah, I actually had my first roast lamb on the weekend. I had a weekend away with my girlfriends, and they bought. Um, she had a sheep done, like a whole sheep, and she bought a huge roast. So she made that for us, and oh my gosh, it was so good. I haven't actually had a really good roast lamb before, so
It's
I
tasty, isn't
don't.
it?
Yeah, well, I don't make it because I didn't really know how to, and yeah, I don't really do roast. I find them very dry, but geez, this is good. And she actually bought two, and she sent one home with me. So guess what we're
Oh,
having
that's awesome.
tonight?
That's
So
awesome.
probably after this, I'll go and put the roast lamb on, and I'll watch her make it. And yeah, surprise hubby with it when he gets home. So yeah, that was
That's
very
awesome.
nice.
You know what's
Mm,
funny?
yeah.
Lamb's very popular in Australia, isn't it?
It is, but it's expensive as well. I don't buy it because it's very expensive. I love the chops, the loin chops. So you've got the little bone and big fatty bit, and they're delicious. But then you think I don't eat normally 3 meals a day. It's only because I'm primarying. If I could easily do OMAD and just have lamb chops, and really that's very budget friendly then. Of course,
Totally.
it would
I
be
love,
expensive if you're eating it all day, but you don't. You don't need
yeah,
to.
I
Yeah.
love lamb chops. I think they're delicious. They're one of my favorites. Is those little lollipop lamb chops or whatever they
Yeah,
call them.
yeah, definitely. I will be buying more lamb now. I've got the taste for it, so that'll just sort of change things up a little bit. Although I don't need to change things up. I'm happy with beef. I don't feel like I'm deprived at all. But maybe for hubby, he'd probably like a change. So
Well, I
yeah,
was figuring that lamb must be big where you were at because over the Labor Day weekend I bought a leg of lamb, and I opened it up and it said it was from Australia. I was like,
yeah,
wow. Let's see, Pat. I'm tired of trying to figure out what to eat. I just started eating one ribeye and 2 meals a day. Yeah? And I mean, I personally think that's super powerful because that's really the power. One of the main powerful things to me behind carnivore is the elimination part because you get it so simple, and then you can add things back one at a time and know for sure what's harming you and like what's affecting you in a negative way and what's not. I had to do that too when I transitioned from ketovore to carnivore. I just had to start taking away things one at a time until I got further and further into ketosis and felt better. And I mean, little stupid things like too much cheese, too much, sour cream, the hot sauce I was putting on my taco salads, the black pepper, things that
yeah.
you wouldn't think to ever cut out on a diet because you think they're mundane or don't are making a difference. They all made the difference. So I think you're at a really good spot to really inspect your diet and see what's working for you.
And I've spent 50 years addicted to food. Thinking about food 24/7 constantly. I'm loving the food freedom that I've got now. I eat my meat and then off I go and live my life and do other things. My life is not revolved around food. That's become not very important for me anymore. I just eat to survive. Basically, I'm not surviving to eat. I've switched roles, and I definitely love that much better. Yeah, it's much better
Yeah,
not life, not having to think about food all the time. So I just put my steak in the air fryer, eat it, and then off I go and do my thing. It's like quick and easy, keep it simple, important, no
yeah,
dishes.
totally. Let's see.
I'm just beginning, cutting down on carbs and sugar, eating much meat. Sounds crazy, but I want to go straight carnivore, but I'm almost afraid to and can't imagine that eating that way lifelong after lifelong other. It is hard. When I first heard Dr. Berry say he just eats meat, I thought he's crazy. Why would you do that? I mean, and then you hear all the time it's so restrictive, and but life at 708 pounds, that's restrictive. Eating meat is not restrictive at all for me, personally. It does seem crazy, but God, I love it now. I love the simplicity of it. I just eat it and then I go off and live my life, as I said before. So, um, yeah, just getting over those mind games and the old ways that we've been grown up with. About
Yeah,
having the rainbow on your plate and all that. I mean, you don't need to, and we shouldn't be making food such a big part of our lives. There's so many other things we should be focusing on in our lives, enjoying our families, getting out into nature, doing that stuff. Food should be just a small part of your life.
yeah, totally. I totally agree because, it's just, I was stuck in a chair. That was restrictive. I couldn't go anywhere without being on oxygen. Even to like the kitchen, that was pretty restrictive. I had to pray and figure out how I was going to get to the bathroom sometimes. That was restrictive. Not being able to fit in a car, that was restrictive.
Yep.
Those things were restrictive. Being able to eat prime ribeyes and prime rib roasts and bacon if I wanted and eggs and butter, and basically most any animal products. I mean, this is what I do. I mean, for many people, all the seafood's open, all that stuff. That to me, it just doesn't seem restrictive. It's so funny because it's just we think that because we're in the last 7 years in our head, we're just like, well, we get to go to the grocery store and there's all these products. There's all these products, or all the cereal and all the bread and all the cakes and all these things. But, most of those things didn't exist, just 80, 90 years ago. And so it's a very short period in our life. And then, that we all kind of got used to eating them. And now we're saying, you know, we think it's unnatural to take that out of our diet, which is kind of silly. I mean, I get it because I was right there with you. I was stuck in that same mindset that that's just craziness. But then when you really start to look at it, it's not crazy because that's all the same stuff. It's all processed poison that's just taking all your quality of life away and all your options and all your potential that you could have, and it's just stealing it. And
Yeah.
so I think at a point we just have to really, I think it just boils down to we have to understand how serious the problem is and how bad we're actually being attacked by this poison that we've been eating, thinking that it was okay, and how it's, I mean, it's killing people. It's killing people early. It's robbing them of their quality of life. So it's scary, but I think it's been the most meaningful, best thing that I've ever done in my life.
Mm. And you think about all those other diets, well, to me, they're restrictive. You have to restrict your calories, the intake, the portion control. If you want a big plate of pasta, no, you can only have this much pasta. I mean, and then there's too many options. It's just, people say eat what you want and then you can fast, for 24, 48 hours, but you can still have that donut as long as you fast. And, gee, there's so many things that they tell you can and can't do. And um, I find all that very restrictive and torturous sometimes. I mean, who wants to eat a donut and then fast for 48 hours to work that off plus more? So,
Yeah, you
no.
know what makes my head explode is when people email me and they'll say the problem with carnivore is if you stop doing it, you gain the weight back.
Of course you will. Absolutely.
Yeah,
But who
yeah.
wants to stop doing it?
Well, yeah, and I'm like, what diet that you do if you stop doing that diet?
Yeah.
Like
This is
you
not a
just
diet. We are changing our life. This is our
right.
new lifestyle. And this is forever unless something really bad happens, which I cannot see happening because I've got my life back and I will not be changing. There's
No,
no
like
way.
I don't see a reason to. When you get this free from it, like what are you giving up and what are you gaining? You know, like that's all for me. That's all I got to weigh. So I get to eat some chemicals and processed food that messes with my mind and makes me sleep worse and gives me anxiety and depression. And I can get all that back so that I can have variety, so that I don't have to be restricted. But I'm probably going to die a lot earlier. I'm probably going to be, like I don't see it. Like I hear this over and over again, and I'm like, until you try it and you know how truly freeing this is, how freeing it is to never be hungry, never wake up thinking about food. See, I think people are so addicted to food that they don't even realize that it's not super normal to kind of plan your whole day out of 2 or 3 meals and snacks every day, you know?
Mm,
Like like that's taken so much time and effort and money to do that stuff, and you're just
yeah,
it's not because it's the social aspect. Yeah, people make social aspects of it, but I think they just have to roll that into their life to feed it. But it doesn't have to be that. When it disappears, I haven't had any problem kicking that. I mean, go play ball with the guys or something. Go
yeah,
do something fun instead of going and eating sugar. Or if you
yeah,
are gonna eat, just eat a steak. And plus, I was laughing the other day when you said that you went out and some friends had eaten and not felt good, because that's my favorite time to drop elbows on them because they give me crap for eating this crazy diet, right? But then they eat the way they eat, and then an hour later they're oh, burp, burp,
yeah.
burp.
Exactly. They're like, I haven't eaten all day. I've been looking forward to this meal, and they do major pig out. And I just sit there with my little steak and do whatever. And then after dinner, they're like sitting like this big food baby. They can't move, and they just want to pass out on the couch, and they just feel blah. And I'm ready to go. It's like, what are we going to do now? Where are we going to go?
Right.
And it's
I
like,
know.
oh, I just want to sit on the couch. I don't want to do anything. I'm bloated. They're farting and burping and
Right. It's because you partaked in all that freedom that you have, and you're not missing out
yeah,
because you got to do all that stuff. But now you can't enjoy the rest of the day. You can't go
yeah,
anywhere. Like how how non-restrictive is that when you make yourself sick every time you eat and you can't even do anything? You know what I mean?
yeah. And like in the morning, I jump out of bed, I get in the shower, and then I've just been away for a lovely weekend away. Got my cuppa, my hot water, and went outside, sat outside with the birds, and just had a good time. And my friends were sleeping in, which is good. They're on holidays, I'm glad. But they both kind of woke up and not feeling well, got a bit of indigestion, or and it broke my heart. I'm just like, I wish you could experience this as well. And, if we can go out and do things and be happy together, but it was like, I felt almost guilty for feeling fantastic
For
and
sure.
they were struggling. And yeah, that was a bit sad, but anyway.
For sure. Amandy's Secret Garden. I want to make the soda replacement lemon drink. What's the recipe for that? Sorry if I missed it. No worries. So I take a 1 gallon pitcher and I do 4 cans. They're 12-ounce cans, just like soda cans, but they're called lime bubbly, and they're basically, I don't know if either Pepsi or Coke makes them, but they're actually one of the most harmless things. I'm sure there's probably some not great stuff in it, but they work, so I'm just gonna keep saying it because it's lime flavored, just carbonated water with really nothing else in it. It's just got no calories, no sugar, no NutraSweet, nothing. So I'd take 4 12-ounce cans. So I'd fill up a pitcher too with ice. Put four 12-ounce cans of that in there, and then I'd do 10 ounces of organic volcanic lemon juice from, I think it's from Italy. Basically, it's a lemon juice or lemons that are grown in volcanic soil in Italy, and for whatever reason, they just taste extra lemony. There's a lot of really good stuff in them. But I do 10 ounces of that, and then I do 4 scoops of Dr. Berg's electrolyte powder here. I don't know if you can see that. Probably not. There it is. I'm really bad at this. There we go. 4 scoops of that, and it's got a little bit of stevia in it, so it sweetens it, and that's a lemon flavored. And then if you need to, you can add a little bit more liquid stevia to sweeten it to your taste. And I drank like a gallon of that every day. And after 5 weeks, it was just gone. A couple of times I did play with. They do have organic volcanic lime juice too, and I did like the flavor of that, but the lime had a little more carbohydrates in it. But I'd put like 4 ounces of that in with the lemon juice, and that was pretty amazing too. So I had that a few times, but after 5 weeks, the strangest thing, I just was concentrating on drinking that, and I was liking it, and it was cold, and it gave you the throat burn, soda does, that I really like. And after about after about 4.5 weeks, I started to notice I wasn't craving it as much. It was almost starting to get where I didn't like the thought of drinking it because I drank so much over 4 weeks. And then after about 4.5 weeks, I was just craving water, and so I would drink about half water and half of that juice, that sparkling drink every day. And on week 5, something just clicked to me, and I couldn't drink enough water. I just wanted water like crazy, and that has not gone away since. Ever since then, I just can't drink enough water. I just enjoy it. So that's
Mm.
kind of my new thing now. And what was weird is an honest, an accidental, blessing of it was I used to drink a bunch of coffee and unsweetened iced tea, unsweetened coffee and unsweetened iced tea. When I was doing that, I got off all the caffeine, and so I was like, wow, this feels pretty good because I was pretty addicted to caffeine, and so I didn't go back on the coffee and tea after that because I was like, one of those same things. I'm like, if I'm doing good without it and I'm not craving it for once, I just kind of cut it out. So I've only drank water for 9.5 months, and I really love it.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm struggling to find the bacon I want from Woolies lately here in Australia. Yeah, we've got a lot of maple flavoured bacon. So I'm guessing that's got like honey or sugar, maple. To get good bacon is very difficult for sure. Um, there is a place, I think it's called Our Cow or something, and they deliver online. Um, and they have like a nitrate free, and sometimes I order from there, and that's quite nice. But apart from that, maybe try your butcher to see if they can sort of prepare some for you. Again, I find pork can be a little bit funny for me. And I was talking to J2 from PK Moonshine Family, and he suggested try beef bacon. I never even heard of that. So next time I go to my butcher, I'm going to ask him to prepare some for me. Apparently, it's just beef belly or something, and they've just cut it up like bacon, and you have that. So I'm going to give that a try. So maybe, yeah, see if your butcher can do the same thing. And if you do, let me know how it goes. Because, yeah, definitely something I want to try.
For sure.
Judith, I'm at that place now. I'll be so happy to be free of thinking about food all day. Oh my God. It is such a game changer, this food freedom. And nothing I did beforehand, like I've tried every diet, and even the lap band surgery, I never had that food freedom at all. And yeah, I love it. I love it. Definitely.
Totally. You're
Killing it, Todd. Yes, he is.
Thank you so much. I feel like it too. It's man, I wish everybody could get right here, not on the weight thing, like that'll come, but just this feeling of freedom from the cravings and just feel this kind of energy. This is why we're doing this show, because it's absolutely mind blowing that everybody should feel like this.
Mm. And Lindy, you're amazing. How much weight did you lose? I can't give you an official number because I don't know what my highest weight was, but it's around 500 pounds already.
Incredible. Yeah, and I
Mm.
mean, you know, I'm trying to think. I look at this stuff a lot, and maybe something like on one of those shows with the bariatric surgery, maybe somebody did, but now they don't. They didn't do it healthy, right? They got there, and I'm not saying like if that was the only way you could make it happen, then absolutely you're better off losing it. But it's just like there's that just doesn't happen on diets. you know, that doesn't happen without medical intervention usually. You know what I mean? So
Yeah. And
so
I just feel
incredible.
so much healthier for it. A lot of people have the bariatric surgery where it takes parts out and stuff like that, and then they're on all these supplements and they can't digest their food properly. And like I've still got the lap band and a little bit of restriction, and but I can have, I don't need to have all these supplements and things to which they have to do. So yeah, I don't like the thought of injecting like Ozempic and things like that, putting more crap in my body. I like to stay away from doctors, and doing this naturally is definitely been good.
Totally.
But dealing with those emotional issues was a big thing for me. I think that's what held me back all this time. And carnivore just gave me that mental clarity to be able to have that carnivore calm and slow down those cravings and voices in my head that were kept spiraling me out of control. So yeah,
Totally. I eat that one steak a day and it's going well so far, but if I don't feel satisfied, I either eat a couple pieces of beef fat or some fried eggs. And so far,
I
I don't
don't
need
need
those.
those. Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing how fast it really happens. I mean, it's so crazy. I was thinking about this the other day, and the whole thing in my head was when I was trying all these other diets and going over it and why it just weighed on you so heavy was because, I'd think, oh man, I'm 35 years old. It took me 35 years to eat bad to get to this point. It's going to take me 35 years to eat good to get back to a baseline. I used to think stuff like that, or maybe not 35 years, but 10, 15, maybe 7 if I worked out crazy and did something really crazy. So I was always putting this pressure on, and what I'm realizing how fast carnivore works, despite our bodies are so awesome that it put up with my terrible diet for 35 years and I still lived and only got to 715 pounds. You know what I mean? So I think if, our body was holding that back all this time, and then when you give it the things that are right, our body's so awesome, it uses it and it corrects it so much faster than you think. So it's not really like that. I know people say you walk 10 miles into the woods, you got to walk 10 miles out. I think that your body is so amazing when it's running properly that you give it what it needs, and this will happen so much faster than you think. Sure, you might not have like the supermodel body or whatever, but you're going to feel great. You're going to have so much more of your life back and so much strength and just energy. Man, it's just awesome. And you're right now, if you're feeling good and satiated and you're getting that off switch that Lindy always talks about, I mean, that's literally 90% of the battle in my mind.
Yeah. And I have a lot of people complaining about loose skin, and they don't want to lose weight because they're scared of the loose skin. But who cares about loose skin? If you feel amazing and you've got your life back, loose skin just, to me, it's a badge of honor. It shows, I am proud of where I've come from. I'm not proud to have got to nearly 800 pounds, but I'm proud that I'm finally losing it and I'm getting my life back. Like I have traveled a really big journey, and so what if I've got loose skin? I don't want to go back to 800 pounds again just to hide my loose skin. I mean, not that I can hide it, but just to fill it up again.
Right?
So yeah, long skirts is going to hide it. Some long sleeve tops. I don't care if I can get out, spend time with my family, go for walks, travel. That means more than having a bit of loose skin. I'm still Lindy. My family loves me for who I am, not because I've got a bit of flax skin. It's nothing to me. So
Totally.
yeah.
I think I don't know from the woman's standpoint, but I think for most guys, if most guys tell you they're not going to go on a diet because they don't want loose skin, I'm like, I think you're making excuses. I could see it for women because they would worry about the appeal of that, but most guys, it's just like, I don't know if you've ever seen a giant beer belly or whatever, but it's not any worse than loose skin, pal. So,
Look, I admit I'm never going to look like Barbie. As much as I would love to, there is no way that's going to happen, and I accept that. And if you've got yourself to this stage, I have to accept that I'm never going to look fantastic. If you've just got a few kilos to lose, yeah, that's not an issue. It may all sort of pop back and you're awesome, great job, good for you. But for me, that's not going to be an issue. Like not going to happen for me. So you have to accept where you are and just be happy with what you've got. Make the most of what you've got. So I think Todd's freezing. You there?
yeah, I'm back. I'm back. Sorry.
Yeah.
My phone, I forgot to put it on silent. And then, sorry, I'm back. But yeah, totally. And, I think that's for anybody, especially in our situation, it's not like we're going to look like, any kind of athletes tomorrow, but man, the amount of difference it can make, is just incredible. And so I'd never let the loose skin hold anybody back. I think that you're really selling yourself short on that if you're that worried about it, to be honest.
Lindy, do you drink just water? Yes, I do. I've got my bottle here, just plain water. But with summer coming up, I do have a soda stream and I do like my bubbles, so I'll just soda stream my water and just have that. I prefer that in summer, but in winter, I don't like the bubbles. Hot drinks, I do like, sometimes I have a peppermint tea. I just, because it's been winter, I like a hot drink, so I'll just have a little bit of peppermint tea, just the one tea bag, and I'll just keep topping that one tea bag up with water all day, so it's not very strong. And that's really all. If I do go out socially, I might have a long black coffee, but that's once a fortnight if I go out. But I don't drink coffee at home. I save that as my treat. If I go outside, other people are having stuff, and I like a treat too, and that's coffee, no sugar. So next one. And Judith, I buy Aldi's bacon. It's very good, uncured and no sugar. Hopefully you have an Aldi's. Oh, we've actually got one just around down the road, but I've never been. So yeah, I might have to go check them out and give it a go. I
For
haven't
sure.
really yeah. I know my hubby loves bacon too,
Okay.
so hmm.
You are welcome. I hope that lemon drink works for you for sure. Here we go. One for you, Lindy.
Hi, Lindy and family from New Zealand. Yay! I was in New Zealand last November. I went on a cruise and with my girlfriend, and it's a beautiful place. But it was my first time out of the house, like doing something like first holiday in over 20 years. And I was on the ship and I walked around the ship. I did really well, but I only went out on land once because I was too scared that I was embarrassed. I couldn't walk a lot, and I didn't want to hold up like tours and things like that because I couldn't keep up. So I kind of stayed on the ship while my girlfriend did most of the tours. So I definitely want to go back with my family and actually get on the land a bit more and do some of these tours. So that's what I'm working towards. So I'll have to wave as I'm sailing by next time.
Okay.
I found some chicken sausage at Whole Foods, fry that with some eggs, and it was really good. I don't know if we've got Whole Foods here. I haven't heard of it.
We do
So,
here. They're a little expensive, but yeah, for sure. I can't eat the chicken because it doesn't agree with me, but I know a lot of people like that chicken sausage. But yeah, whatever works for you. I'd just say with chicken, you got to be careful that you're getting enough fat.
mm.
But let's see here.
The egg yolks is good. Mm. Linda, you dug yourself out of a hole. So proud of you. Yeah, I did. It was a big hole too.
Yeah, we were
um,
we were in a crater.
yeah, yeah. So no, I'm proud of me too. And I think that's really important. I hated myself back then, and kind of found a new love for myself, and I am very proud of what I've achieved. So that's been a big part of my healing journey as well. That you need to love yourself and accept yourself for who you are, and just work at trying to find that person again.
For sure. For
Mm,
sure. Yeah, and I mean, it's just when you're stuck in a spot and you don't know where you don't you know you want to try something but you don't even know what to try anymore. Everything you tried didn't work. Yeah, it's really
mm,
hard just to not be pretty down on yourself because you feel like you're stuck in this miserable position and you don't think there's a way out. So, yeah, it's really hard to not be pretty down on yourself in those spots, and that's why you know, man, it's so amazing to get that off switch and to actually have an answer, even if you think it's a little restrictive. If you're in a spot like we were, man, it's so nice to have anything that's going to work, much less something like this that works so amazingly, so quickly.
yeah,
Hey,
Michael, the off switch is amazing. Never before on any other diet have I been free from the thoughts of craving. It's so freeing. It is. It's a miracle game changer. Yeah, you could yeah, I wouldn't. I don't know. It's limitless, isn't it? Wouldn't pay money to not have that off switch. You could give me $1,000. I'll have the off switch. I definitely take the off switch every time. $1 million.
totally,
Yeah, never want to go back again. Yeah, I'll take the loose skin any day over the fat. Yeah, just having that life back. You can still do things with loose skin. I mean, it gets in the way, but who cares? You can still go out and do things, enjoy your life, see the world. So,
totally.
yeah, loose skin's nothing really when you're 800 and something pounds. Laura Speth said it's not true that autophagy works, so that's why she had skin surgery, but I would not put myself through that. Well, I think when you've come from my size, yeah, autophagy is not going to work. It's way too much skin. It's like when you blow up a balloon and then deflate it. That's not going to go back to how it was. And I think that's how I am at the moment. So surgery would have to be an option for me if it was restrictive enough. But look, I've still got a long way in my journey, and I'll just have to see when I've reached my goal what life is like then, and make a decision then. But I'm not even close to that yet, so I'm not even thinking about it. Just keep doing my best and see what happens.
Totally. I think, autophagy definitely does work, but she's not wrong because, you know, it'll help. But when I get down to my goal weight, I got to be 1/3 of my size, so I'll have 2/3 of the skin that's got to go away, right? And
Yeah.
there's just some problems with that. So, but there was a guy. I really got to look up his name so that I could remember this because I reference it quite a bit. But there's a guy like in the 50s, 1950s, and he fasted for like 370 some days, and he lost like I don't know 350 pounds or something. But what was crazy because he did a water fast that whole time, and what was crazy is he was in such a state of autophagy for over a year that he didn't have any loose skin because his body ate it. He ate all that protein, and so that
Mm.
was very So it definitely does work, but I wouldn't recommend not eating for.
No, to me, that's torture. I still like to eat. I do
Yeah,
have that. Yeah. I'd love to see photos of his before and after though. So if you do find out who he is,
yeah, I'll pull it up for sure. It's very
yeah,
famous.
yeah. I had someone say something super rude to me about my skin after I lost weight. It's making me look older than I am. I'm 30, but I'm focusing on it more than I'd like. And now it's frustrating. Look at this. Oh, I got turkey neck. I mean, yeah, and everyone, when I was bigger, my skin was stretched out and I looked very young. People would say I look young. And now I see wrinkles because my skin's shriveling. um, who cares?
Yeah,
I feel good. And, people are going to say nasty things. you're large, 80, 100 pounds, and they're having a go at you. You lose weight, and they're still having a go at me. So as long as I'm happy, I don't care what people say anymore. They're not really your friends. Kelly Hogan
Yeah,
is making me believe in autophagy. Oh, she's been carnivore 13 years now, so
yeah,
there's.
yeah. And I mean, yeah, for sure. Like if you're only maybe even 100 pounds overweight, right? Even if you're 100 pounds overweight, I think you could do it if you did a fair amount of fasting, kind of like the priming protocol that we're doing. You know, if you put quite a bit of fasting in there and you did it for 10 years, 15 years, I bet it would help
Yeah,
dramatically, but it's just going to take a really long time, you know?
yeah. And my coach Emily, she started fasting and her carnivore journey at the weight I am now. And if you look at her now, she looks amazing. And she's like, "Oh, I've got a bit of loose skin." I'm like, "Where? I can't see it. I need my magnifying glass." I think she looks fantastic. She's beautiful. She can still see this loose skin, and I'm like, "No, there's nothing there. I can't see it." So I think everyone's harder on themselves as well. So yeah, but I definitely believe there will be some benefits from the autophagy, and that's why I'm doing the priming and fasting protocol now to see if I can gain a bit more benefits from the fasting. So
Yeah,
I'm
and this rolls right into Pat's question. Fasting just sets me up for weight gain. If you go too long and if you don't prime beforehand, I totally agree. But if you actually, what I'm finding out, and I'm new to this too, because this is I'm just going through it, but I'm definitely a believer in it. Uh, you got to do the priming protocol, which is where you feed the body first, and you get it, you know, get it all the nutrients it needs and all the building blocks. You ramp up your metabolism, and then you fast. But you shouldn't be hungry at any point in the fast. You shouldn't be craving. You should want to not eat. You should not
yeah,
be wanting to eat and stopping yourself. And if you do that, then that's a really good fast. The weight's just going to drop off and you'll crank up your metabolism. And so you got to do the priming first. And if you're curious about that, definitely check out the Steak and Butter Gang because they do that all the time, and it's an amazing program and it works.
yeah. You shouldn't be white knuckling. If you're white knuckling, you're doing it wrong, and that's just going to set you up for failure, isn't it?
Wow, congratulations! I lost. That's me. I lost 80 so far. I'm at 154.
Um,
Congratulations.
wow, excellent, good
Yeah,
job.
that's amazing, and you could definitely, like, yeah, I bet the loose skin's not that bad. I would guess because I've seen people. You know, I can't say, but I've seen people, and I wouldn't worry about it. And you would be the person to, you know, in that range to definitely try the autophagy. And if it doesn't bother you, just do it over the long haul. You know, because one thing I think and I look at is that, you know, for somebody that's probably your size and the loose skin's not that bad, if you do get cut off, you're gonna have a lot of scars. You know, so it's like, what's going to bother you worse anyhow? Because I I wouldn't probably, you know, like Lindy's saying with Emily, would you have Emily get skin surgery? Heck no. You know?
I don't see the list. Looks amazing to me. So obviously, you're very critical of yourself, and I think you just need to turn that into a love yourself and be proud of where you've come from. You've just been through a massive journey of weight loss and finding your health. Be proud of that. Focus on that, not focus on loose skin. People, you're still you, you know, and people love you for you, not because of what you look like. And if they
Totally,
do worry about what you look like, they're not worth being your friends. So.
totally.
Kelly Hogan ate lean meat for years. She was tired all the time and she's still young, so I don't think her skin is so bad. Oh, she looks amazing. Yeah.
No,
Good
Kelly
job.
Hogan's like an athlete.
Mm.
I think vitality.
I just want her bubbly personality. She's gorgeous.
Very pleasant.
Yeah, I love watching her. I also saw a video by Bubs Beauty about derma rolling, amazing results. I don't even know what that is, to be honest.
I don't know. I can guess, but I don't really know anything about it.
So I think it's something, a beauty treatment of some sort, but obviously
Yeah.
that wasn't high on my agenda where I was. So yeah, I've been doing the intermittent fasting since starting. I have never had the skin look so good, and it does suck up after a while. It will never look perfect, but it wants to. Exactly, good on you. That's really good.
Yeah, like I wish I don't have a picture up, but if you look at some of the old pictures of my neck, I didn't have and not that I have a bunch of a neck now, but I didn't have any neck. My chin was down to here, and
Mm,
there's a little bit here, but it's not sagging down, right? So it does. You can kind of see it right there. It does pull back up, you know.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not that bad. It's like but certain things, my belly, that's just gonna that's gonna take some surgery. There's just no fixing that. That doesn't stand a chance. But also, when you're talking with loose skin, you have to figure out if it's just the skin or if the collagen under the skin has been torn. Because if the collagen under the skin is torn, then it's gonna have a really hard time. Because once you get it to the point that the collagen layer under the skin breaks, you brought it like it loses a lot of its elasticity, so it has quite a bit more trouble.
Mm.
Oh, here we go.
It's a roller with tiny needles for collagen stimulation. Oh, okay. There you go. Thank goodness, Ivy, for the reassurance. And Gads for the autophagy. Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. I'm trusting the process, and I'm pretty sure I'll get some benefit out of it for sure. So even just healing other things as well. It's not just about the loose skin; it's other healing benefits of autophagy that I'm looking forward to. So yeah.
Totally. But yeah, I think let's see here. I think you know, it's just a process, and I think that's one thing that messes with our minds a little bit is we don't want to let go of anything about we have this idea of this body and this young person and all these things, this picture perfect, and everybody does that. I don't care if you got a weight problem or not. Everybody has this picture and this person they want to be. And I don't know. I think we just all got to let go of that and just kind of just work on being as efficient as we can to getting as healthy as we can and what works for us every day. And then, we're by chasing this almost unicorn that we're trying to chase. Where I used to do it for sure. I'd be like, all right, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do this, crazy. I'm not going to eat for 17 months, and I'm going to play softball and lift weights and do all this stuff. And I'm going to lose all this weight, and then I'm going to start lifting, and I'm going to have like this, bodybuilder body. And I never achieved that once because everything I was setting up was just such a massive failure. And it was like you can't do it when you're hungry all the time, malnourished, out of energy, not sleeping, stressed out, anxiety, depression, all this stuff going on because you're just a wreck. And
Mm.
then when I finally eat carnivore, now I just don't care. I don't have that goal, and I think oddly enough, I'm probably through this route, I'm going to get as close to that as I'm ever going to get on anything. But I don't even care now just because it's so satisfying to wake up and feel so much better every day and stronger and sleep better, mind works better, and you're not all stressed out. Whatever, I think that brain fog of the sad, diet also makes you not have like any, I don't know, it doesn't, you just can't be satisfied with any kind of gain. You can't see the truth that's right in front of you. When your brain's working right, you're just like, oh man, this is great. I mean, I'm miles better than I was a month ago. So yeah, I'm not going to be wearing shortcuts to the beach anytime soon. But know, like there's a lot to celebrate here, and you get hooked on that every day. And then who knows where it's going to go? I don't have any idea what I'm going to look like a year or two from now, but I guarantee it's going to be better than today. you
Yeah,
know, so
absolutely.
for sure.
I was always such a bookworm. I never thought about my own self image until now. Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny how that works. Let's see. I want to talk to you a little bit about. Today's not our normal show day. We had some different schedules going on this week, but we're gonna try to get back to U.S.
Yeah.
Sundays.
Monday.
Yeah, Australia Mondays, and back at it'll be at 3 p.m. Um, Mountain Daylight Time and 11 a.m. I don't know what your time zone is.
Was it 11 or 8 a.m.? I thought it
Oh
was
no, sorry.
yeah,
You're at
yeah,
8 a.m.
on Monday it'll be
Sorry.
8 a.m.
Yeah,
So yeah.
today was 11 because it was at
Yeah, it's
6.
a
I
bit
got
later.
yeah. So that'll be at 8 a.m. What's your time zone?
Um, AEST, Australian Eastern Day Standard Time.
Okay.
I
So
think.
yeah, so 8 a.m. What she said, and 3 p.m. So 8 a.m. In Australia Monday, and 3 p.m. Mountain Time, United States on Sunday. So I think we got that cured, and so
I
that's
think
going to
when
be
we schedule it, it'll tell you
yeah,
whatever your time zone is, what time it is.
yeah.
So
And
yeah,
yeah, when we schedule it,
it's the
you'll see
notify
it.
button.
Yeah, exactly. Hit the notify, and then you'll be not have to do calculus to figure out what time it's on. But
It does
uh,
my head in. I know
exactly.
time zone.
Yep. And so, but anyhow, that'll be kind of our normal time, and we're going to start doing. We're shooting that it'll be about up to 3 hours, unless we're talking to the wall. so, but I just wanted to let you know, and that way, it starts being a more stable weekly thing that you can count on. So,
Mm. It was easy to lose early on, but now that I'm older, it's harder to get the weight off. Well, I'm 52 now, and I started obviously at 50. For me, having so much weight to lose, it's come off very quickly, but geez, it's slowing down right now. I guess as I get closer towards my goal weight, things will slow down. Mainly, I think I lost a lot of water weight, inflammation in the first few months. So that was the majority of the weight. And now I've got just the fat left to lose, and that's definitely much harder to lose. So, mm,
for sure, yeah, I
and
did, and yeah, I had the same kind of issue. I lost weight pretty quick. I don't even know what I lost because I was too big to get on the scale at the time. Um, but I could tell just from how much my clothes were loosened at first, and how much lighter I felt, and in just the first 4.5 months, it was really about I don't know. I guess month 5 it slowed down, and then month 7 it got really slow. But month 7 was finally where my metabolism was tanking because I was under eating, and I had fasted too long, and I was in my head about it, not wanting to eat more because I was like, "Whoa, you can't eat more. This is gonna go south on you." So then I started fighting that until I woke up one day and went, man, I'm not craving pizza. I'm craving ribeye. So my
yeah,
body's my body. This isn't a craving. My body's trying to give me a cue of something that is short and it needs. So then I started listening to that, and that came off. But then, because I'm an idiot, I went through that same cycle again. I went to under eating. I only ate for like 3 days. That brought me to this point where I'm on another little bit of a stall. Same problems under eating. So that's when I reached out for people smarter than me to help. And Raymond at the Steak and Butter Gang has helping me out to do a priming protocol. And here's what's crazy too. Whenever you guys are thinking about doing a priming or fasting being good, or you're eating too much and you only want to eat a little. Here's what's crazy. I just ate in the last, let's see. So the last 13 days, I've eaten 74,000 calories now. I'm not joking. That's just not a number that I threw up in the air. I've eaten 74,000 calories now, and I've lost 6 pounds in the last 13 days. So it's like kind of maddening to think about the fact that I'm down 6 pounds eating like a machine right now.
Eating like
So,
it's your job.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. So it's like the calorie hypothesis is just a little bit ridiculous if you really think about it. It's just nutty.
Still in the designing phase. Who am I? I always say to myself. Yeah, I lost myself there for quite a few years. I was very numb to myself. I didn't want to know who I was. I didn't look in the mirror. And now I'm starting to love what I see. I'm taking selfies now. I drive my girls crazy. It's like, come on, let's do a selfie. And we all get in the photo. They couldn't get me in the photo beforehand, and now I'm harassing them. So, yeah, definitely relearning who you are is that's and what I was going to say before, my journey at 800, pounds, it was a no-brainer. I needed to lose weight, but now that I look back, that's just the cherry on top. For me, it's all the other benefits I gained. I have this new carnivore confidence, which I never had before. I was the shy person that would blend in, in the wall with the wall, and now here I am sharing my life story on YouTube in front of the world, and um, the carnivore calm. Life is throwing things my way, and I'm like, yep, tick, 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 and just crossing them off, and not falling on flat on my face and spiraling into depression and carb cycling and all that kind of stuff. I'm sort of winging it now, and I'm really happy with that. So all these benefits, and I feel amazing. The mental clarity, just enjoying life, that far outweighs the weight loss for me. And like if I'm stuck at this weight forever, like I don't care. I feel great, but I'm sure my body's going to keep rewarding me, and I will keep reducing my weight, and I'm happy for that too. I'm not saying I don't want to lose weight, I still do, but whatever my body's happy with and comfortable with, I'm happy too. So
Yeah, absolutely. And
yeah,
you know, I was looking up pictures the other day because I was so bad at taking pictures, and I was good at destroying them, and you know, body slamming anybody that might have taken a picture of me, getting it, getting it out of their phone. And but one picture that I was forced to take was my wedding picture. They weren't going to let me not have a picture of that. So unfortunately, there's a couple of those that survived. But I was looking back at that, and I was 27 years old, and I was lighter back then at 27. But I was looking at the inflammation and just the puffiness in my face was just
mm,
out of control. And I remember that picture. I remember how tired I was and how I couldn't breathe and how standing just for those pictures was miserable. And I was like, I don't know, 80 pounds lighter than I am right now. And then
yeah,
I was looking at my picture right now, and I'm like, my face and body composition is so much better, 60 pounds heavier, and 20 or no 13 years older. It's just, it was crazy. So yeah, absolutely, whatever the body needs, it's not about that stupid scale. It's what it's what the body's doing with all this proper nutrients, and it's creating this new body composition that can carry this weight, get strong, get the excess weight off. And I mean, I'm much happier heavier right now than I was lighter and younger then, which is just nutty to think that that's possible.
yeah.
Well, because we go after the weight for so many years, we don't think about fixing the problem. We don't think about curing the disease, getting the body the nutrients it needs. We just think we got to lose the weight. And now that was staring me right in the face. I was like, here I am lighter and younger, but sicker and more miserable than here I am older and heavier and healthier and stronger. It's crazy.
Yeah. And I'm looking forward to growing old and being a healthy old person. I don't want to be in a nursing home or having my daughters look after me and go through, watching me deteriorate. I want to be playing with my grandchildren, running around the park and doing all those crazy things that my mum didn't get to do. Um, I want to be that grandma and that nonna because I'm Italian. I'm going to be a nonna. Who was then thinking to my kids, when you're ready.
For sure.
Yeah, I want to be that person. So you definitely don't want to get old and be sick and have a miserable sort of old age. And that's my focus now. And whether I'm a little bit overweight and still, that's fine. As long as I've got my health, I don't care.
Right?
Mm,
Completely agree.
yeah. I lost 120 pounds in the beginning very fast. I was amazed. Yeah, it just falls off because it's all inflammation and water weight and edema, all that kind of stuff. Then I fell off and gained it back. You do.
Well,
Yo-yo
you
dieting.
you are in good company, Pat. You are in very good
Yeah.
company.
Well, how many times have you been? You lost hundreds and hundreds and
Yeah, I lost 200 pounds two different times in my life, and I lost 300 pounds two different times in my life. So, and
yeah.
yeah, I gained it so fast you get whiplash if you saw it. Like it is crazy how fast I put that weight back on. So, and yeah, and the problem is you did it through starvation. You're already malnourished. You made it worse, and then your body's screaming for food. And when you
Mm,
got back on, you listened to the standard American diet that said, "Don't eat red meat. Your heart will explode and flop out on the table, in front of the family, and you'll have a stroke and all this stuff." And then so you put in empty calories again, and it just was, just goes like just kinder on fire. It's just crazy, and it comes
mm,
back over and over again. That's why this is so incredible to know, you know, all those diets where I lost all that weight and put it all back on. Every night I went to bed, I was starving. I was starving. I was full of anxiety and mad and hungry and irritable. And he was not looking forward to the day. I wouldn't sleep good all night long. I'd wake up in the morning starving and go, I don't know how I'm going to get to the end of the day without falling off this stupid thing that I got to do today. So from the very moment you woke up, you were worried about this thing that you had to do all day, and keep this going. And then you do that day after day after day. And yeah, you lose 120 pounds. You do it every day. And then finally you're like, I've lost 120 pounds. I look a little better. I feel slightly lighter, but I'm not sleeping any better. I'm still hungry. I'm still miserable. Like it didn't fix all these things. And finally, your mind just goes, bang, and you go off the rails, and then there's because when you at least go and you eat all the crap, the whatever your thing is, you get that endorphin fix, and it's like a small relief. You finally feel good for a little while, and it's our body sitting here saying, yeah, because you haven't, you're starving to death. You don't have any protein, you don't have any amino acids, you're just so deficient on everything that your body really needs. And then we sit here and we think, well, we're going to get down to this goal weight and or whatever, this starvation diet, and then we're going to eat, the balanced American diet with a little bit of lettuce or whatever. And as soon as you start putting food in your mouth, it's just like that RPM it starts cranking up in your head, and pretty soon you can't put down the fork because it's like telling an alcoholic to take 2 ounces of beer and then put the rest down because you're now going to live this super moderate life. I mean, it's just the most nonsensical thing that I've, they wouldn't do it to any other drug, any other addicts. They wouldn't tell a gambling addict to, only play slots, for 2 spins a day. They wouldn't tell they wouldn't tell a heroin addict to only, I don't even know how they do heroines, but whatever. They wouldn't tell them to do small doses of all these things every day and then rely on self control because, I mean, that's just aiming for just a terrible crash.
especially how trying to choose what clothing I should be wearing. I'm just about bewildered. I'm in a strange place at the moment. I'm very. awkward size. I find a lot of my pots are gaping at the top because I've lost so much weight, but then I need the extra size for my stomach because I have so much loose skin. So all my clothes look a bit, um, yeah, a bit weird on me. I actually put a jumper on the other day, which I've had for quite a while, and my daughter told me I look silly because it went down to my knees. She said, "You've lost too much weight. Throw that in the bin." And I'm like, "But it's comfortable, and it's." I guess I was comfortable in it. Um, yeah, throwing away the evidence, I guess it's probably a good thing to do that, but it does feel like a security blanket at the same time. So yeah, but I am struggling with clothes as well, and yeah, Todd, I fell off so many times. But unlike Todd, I couldn't stay on a diet at all. I'd last maybe a couple of days, a week at the most, and then I'd fall right off. So I never lost big amounts of weight. I was yo-yoing all the time, and whenever I lost a few kilos, I put that on plus more with each diet that I did. So I finally said to myself, "Okay, self, you're never going to stop falling off till you give up the stevia." Mm. I had cancer on one side and heart disease on the other side. I had to do something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And I would say just like you're doing that with the stevia, I had a similar thing, right? Like I didn't nail this overnight or the first time. I did two failed stints at keto where it let me take me off the rails. Then I got COVID. Then things got real serious and real bad. And then I was kind of giving up after that point, but then when I came back from it a little bit, I was like, man, I got to do this one more time. And by this time I'd realized that the dirty keto products were not helping. So I was like, I'm going to do keto, but I'm going to do it real strict. And it was basically, that's why I call it ketovore, because it was carnivore with carnivorous vegetables and a few spices and things. And I was even doing that, which was so much more strict than any of the other keto I had done, right? And I was this time I got in a blood ketone reader, right? And I was taking my blood to test for ketones, and I mean, I'm doing this thing where I'm only eating once a day, and I'm doing this super strict keto. In my mind, it was super strict, and I'm like, really hitting this hard, and I'm not even getting in ketosis because, I think I was just so, I don't know what you call it, metabolically sick, sensitive to all these stupid things that it just wasn't helping. So I had to start doing an elimination diet, and I started taking out the dairy first, cutting the dairy in half and trimming it down, and then I took out the salsa and the hot sauce, and I added in some eggs because I needed some texture change. So I used eggs to replace cheese, and I mean I was down to like the taco seasoning, and I took the taco seasoning out, and then I was down to eggs, meat, and lettuce, and I'm like, man, I hate lettuce. So I chucked the lettuce, and I was just eating the eggs and the meat. I'm like, well, this is carnivore, but I was still using black pepper, and I was taking the lemon drink at the time to get off the diet sodas with all the stevia and garbage in it. And that was when everything clicked. And on January 1st of 2023, the last thing that I was eating was BBB&E and water and electrolytes. The electrolytes were a big one to get me over the hump too. But I had black pepper, and I tossed the black pepper, and you would think black pepper shouldn't have been doing anything. I'll be danged. The black pepper was causing inflammation and making my lungs wheeze. Just putting a few shakes of black pepper on my beef, you know, was causing inflammation, making me wheezy. You can hear my lungs whistle when I was breathing. I got rid of the black pepper. All that cleared up. So,
Wow.
yeah, so I get it right where you're at. It seems like these little things in our mind, that's what's so crazy, because in our mind we think that we have to have the stevia or no way we can do keto if we don't have this little thing or that little thing or the diet soda or the black pepper. Man, if you just went all the way, it'd be too much and you couldn't sustain it, which is funny because we've tried so many unsustainable things in the past and it didn't bother us to try those. But when it comes to this carnivore thing, going all the way, it bugs us. And we think, well, it just can't do it. I know we can't. But honestly, and I talk to people on keto a lot about this, keto was way harder for me to try to stay on keto than this is right here where I'm at. This is so freeing and effortless. people send me messages talking about, how much willpower I must have and how strong I am, and I'm like, nope,
No.
no, that is not right. When I did not have willpower because I was 700 plus pounds. I did not have willpower. That's what I'm telling you. That this has nothing to do with willpower. Yeah, you got to try and you got to stay diligent for the first, well, through the whole thing, but you got to put extra effort in at the beginning to get through the wall. But
Yeah.
it pays you back and then it gives you all the tools, and now I'm just like coasting because this is super easy, and this is way easier than keto was. And yes, it's way more restrictive, in other people's mindsets, right? But my mindset, this is the most freeing thing I've ever done because I don't worry about nothing when it comes to diet anymore. I'm happy, I'm full, I'm happy, I'm satiated. The hardest thing that I've had to do lately is eat more.
Yeah. And like at the start, you need to eat as much as you can. Like there's no restriction. If you're hungry, eat meat. You don't have to count. Just keep eating until you're full, until you can't eat anymore. And then if you don't want to eat meat, but you're craving something else, you're obviously not hungry. You're obviously got you're bored or something, and you're eating because of emotion for comfort. And just learning those two signals, the difference between hunger and whether you're eating for comfort or to fill in that void, that's a really big lesson to learn as well. So if you're not hungry enough to eat the meat, then you're not hungry at all. So
Man.
my mum died of cancer, and her whole side of the family died of cancer. I lost both my parents to cancer. They were both 56 years old, very young, and I'm almost at that age. So my mum was diagnosed at 50. I'm not sure when dad was diagnosed. He didn't tell us um, until a couple of weeks before he passed because he didn't want us to worry about him. So it's hard. And like if I had have known then what I know now, my mum would have been carnivore. But unfortunately, I didn't even know carnivore existed. She did everything that she was told by the doctors. And now that I think about all the things that we did, I cringe at it. I'm disgusted. We was giving her apricot kernels because they're like arsenic or something to poison the cancer. What else was the poisoning? You know? Yeah, I wish I could turn things around, but I can't. So my mission now is to not try not to get cancer and do the same thing to my daughters and put them through that grief of watching me deteriorate. So that's why I'm on a mission to improve my health, and I hope that you are as well. Yeah. And my dad died at 51 and my brother at 43 of heart disease. Yeah.
Yeah, that is.
My son Jeff was, oh my gosh.
Oh, no. You know, we'll go through this.
And my other son was 30. Oh, geez.
But,
Wow.
these are a lot of good whys, because, I mean, if anything can, quite honestly, these are the whys that are going to push you through because I was big my whole life, but until I was stuck in a chair, couldn't breathe, until my dad died and my brother died, I didn't have the breakthrough that I needed because I didn't go out searching for a real answer. I was still going to the doctors for the magic pill, the quick fix,
Mm.
And when you see all this stuff and you see, I saw my dad, my dad died of leukemia. My brother basically died of medical, they misdiagnosed him and gave him the wrong medicine. But, you know, they were going to the doctors, they were going to the experts, and they died. you know, my mom was going to the experts, and she's got Parkinson's and a brain tumor. You know, I went to the experts my whole life, and they were happy with my diet and just kept telling me, I just need to eat less and move more, and see a
These pills,
psychologist. Yeah,
take these pills.
yeah,
Mm.
take these pills, and then that was it. That was all I got. And then I go lose weight, and I come back 200 and like 225 pounds lighter or whatever, off the oxygen, off all this medication. And for the first time, I heard these words come out of my doctor's mouth. He goes, I'm really worried about your diet. You know, so I feel for you a ton, Pat. But man, this is going to be so much fuel for your why. You know, when you listen to everybody talk about their why, this is a big one. You know, this is a big
Absolutely.
one to do. Make be an example for other people, to live for those people, because you have the knowledge now. You know, you see what this is doing. We've see through the propaganda of all this big food and big drug company nonsense now, and we got to get the word out there, and everybody's got to, you know, we got to take away this stigma that immediately people say you're crazy, that's so restrictive, you couldn't do it. I mean, what's more restrictive about what we're doing than all of the standard American diets combined, where 74% of the earth got overweight and obese on that plan, that protocol? Clearly, that's restrictive because nobody stuck to it. It didn't work for anybody. So that's got to be restrictive. So if you look at all these plans that the dietitians and the doctors have been pushing for forever, they're not working. So there's something wrong with them, and I'd have to say they're probably too restrictive because they're not real. And so try this. Try it really hard. Throw yourself at it for 6 months and do, no matter how crazy you think it is to get rid of pepper, stevia, all those things, just put your head down and do it, and then eat anytime something's bothering you. You eat steak and beef and butter and eggs, and you eat it, and you eat salt, and you drink water, and you take electrolytes, and you just endure it for 3 or 4 months. And I think you're going to see that breakthrough. And when you get that breakthrough, just don't let go of it. Just don't go backwards anymore. Just say, I know, just like me and Lindy say, especially Lindy, to be an abstainer, if that's you, know that about yourself and just don't go back there. Just and start feeding off how good you feel, and start feeding off. I'm having fun now adding days to like my perfect record. It's really kind of fun now to say, it's crazy to say I'm coming up on 10 months and haven't drank any caffeine or anything but water. You know, that's kind of fun. It's fun to say have not put any sugar in my mouth in 10 months. That's fun. And so I want to say that it's going to be fun to say that at a year. It's going to be fun to say that at 18 months and 2 years, along with everything else that's coming with it. So it's fun to build this synergy and start putting up these big numbers of breakthroughs, because you know I'd gone 17 months without really eating. I was eating twice a week, but when I was eating, I was drinking Diet Coke and nonsense, like I was still feeding the little things. And so this is the first time that I've been completely free of all that. And it feels so good to put up those big numbers.
Mm. I take comfort in the fact that my mum would be up there looking at me now and being proud of what I've achieved. Like me at 800 pounds, she would have been devastated. And now I can just see her smiling down on me because I found my feet finally and I'm getting my life back and, enjoying my time with the family again. And yeah, just take comfort in that you're finding your feet and on your way to optimal health, and your family will be up there looking down on you as well and being proud of you. So,
Absolutely.
hi, low carb.
High low carb.
Kelly Hogan said she would pour dish soap on leftover cake so she couldn't eat it.
I remember
Yeah.
that. That was so funny. I watched her say that.
I normally send, like, if we have people over for dinner and there's leftovers, I always send the leftovers home with them. I don't want leftovers in the house unless it's like carnivore foodish, I'll keep the meat. But anything else gets put in containers and they take it home for their loved ones the next day. So, and they're really happy with that.
Yeah, right.
Don't matter how many times you fall off, it's how many times you get back up. You'll get there. Yeah,
Absolutely.
if you fall off, I mean, everyone has a bad day. I mean, I have plenty of times. But the next mouthful is going to be carnivore meal. So yeah, don't say I'll start again next Monday or next month. And that's what I used to do with all my other diets. It's like, okay, I did it, move on. Next meal is carnivore.
Absolutely.
I've had plenty of time to get over this stevia thing, and my brain is still entertaining it. Yeah.
I mean, I have this thought too. Like, what does that mean? With what does that mean? I think you also have to choose to change your mind a little bit too, like consciously, because I talked to my mom, right? So my mom's doing carnivore, and she was, my mom was a bigger soda addict than me, and I know how bad I was, right? And she's, in her 80s, and she couldn't get off the diet soda. She's so addicted to it. I mean, she's got to have one first thing when she wakes up and one at 11 o'clock. And I mean, she's just taking these, and it's just part of her ritual and has been for, 35 years plus, And she's been on the lemon drink. And at first, she was making comments every day about it, going, "Well, I don't know, this doesn't taste very good." She was kind of grumbly about the lemon juice, and then she would make comments and go, "I don't really know what's so bad about diet soda." She's like making excuses and kind of trying to argue, that diet coke couldn't be that bad for you. She's kind of like the addict thing going on, and I just was like, "Oh, it is. It's just how it is." And she didn't like it, and she was grumbling, and she'd fight me, but she just did this over and over, and now it's been, I think, close to 3 months now, 2.5 months, somewhere in there. And I just noticed, just dawned on me, about 2 weeks ago, she hasn't been grumbling. She hasn't been making these comments. She's happier, right? She's waking up and she just looks better, and just all of these things are going on. And I just haven't heard this argument and pushback and complaining. So I asked her, I said, "Are you still craving Diet Coke?" And her immediate answer was yes. And I said, "Well, what do you mean? Like, explain that to me. What are you feeling? Like, how's that work?" And she goes, "Well, when I think about it, I still think it would taste good." And I'm like, "Yeah, but I can think about a pizza and I can remember it tasting good and think that it probably would too, but I'm not craving it, and it's not still gotten a hold of me." I said, "So do you still wake up in the morning where it's the first thing that pops into your head and you got to run to the refrigerator and get that, and you can't really even start your day till you get it? That's the way you always were." She goes, "Well, no, I don't think about it in the morning anymore." And I said, "Well, how long can you be on? Like, when does it come into your brain in the day?" And she goes, "Well, really the only time I think about it is if I'm looking on Instacart and I see Diet Coke in there, on the Instacart app. Then I think about it and go, oh, that was good." Well, I think that happens to anybody. You could remember whatever the thing was that you like to eat, and you could remember eating it, and you could remember enjoying eating it back then, but it's not like that complete take over your mind and make you ravenous for that thing all of a sudden.
Yeah. My weakness is ice cream, and sometimes, we'll sit down and watch TV, my hubby and I, and that's when you have your snacks, and ice cream is always my choice. And occasionally we'll sit down and watch a bit of TV together at night, and my mind's like, "Where's my ice cream?" And I'm like, "I don't eat ice cream anymore, obviously. I don't want ice cream, but my mind is still calling for it." And usually I can, it passes. If I can't, if I am hungry, I'll go and have something carnivore, or like a snack of some sort. So I have a bit of steak or whatever is left over in the fridge. But if I'm not hungry for that, then I know it's just that habit that just sitting there with my hubby, something that we used to do together, and that's all it is. And if that want is so strong, I'll just go to bed. I'm like,
Yeah.
"I'm sorry, hubby, I'm tired. I'll go and I'll watch YouTube videos from bed."
Yeah.
That way I'm out of the kitchen, I'm in bed, I'm nice and snug and warm, and I'm watching my Dr. Berry or something just to get my mind back on track again, and that kind of passes then. And that's how I deal with it now. But I guess you're always going to have those little cravings, little
But I
habits that
don't,
are going to
that's what
trigger.
I'm trying to say in my mind. Like, I don't know that they're cravings as much as they are reminiscing of this old
Yeah, old
habit. This,
habits.
yeah,
Yep. Yeah.
this like process that was comfortable for you. Like, I used to do this and I liked it, and I used to, at this time I would do this thing or whatever. Like you said, movie watching is a big deal. for sure. For I think for a lot of people, because you liked after the dinner, you'd sit
It's just
down,
like
you get your
comfort of eating. It's a comfort thing, yeah.
yeah,
Sometimes
but
I'll play on my iPad, I'll do some colouring, so I'm keeping my hands busy and my
yeah,
mind's busy, but watching the movie at the same time, and then I haven't got room to think about food as well. So you just got to
yeah.
keep busy and distracted from food. Yeah.
I think so, and I think it is important. To me, I separate like a craving and a addictive craving from that thing that strikes you when you're not when like for me it's always when I wake up in the morning. When I wake up in the morning and I didn't sleep good, if I'm that's when I'm like at my weakest. I think it's like Carnivore Scott was saying, your body starts putting out cortisol at 3 a.m. in the morning, and so it starts kicking this cortisol in. Well, if I didn't sleep good, the whole flight or fight thing is not working real well for me. So I just get stressed out and anxious and full of anxiety. And between that and being tired because I didn't sleep, that's when my brain would always kick in and go, time for pizza. Like, where's the pizza? Or whatever it was. Like, where's the pizza? Where's the tacos? Let's just go get some soda and some pizza, and we can just eat ourselves into a coma and sleep the rest of the day or whatever. That's what's in my brain. That to me is an addiction, and maybe it's because it was some sort of medicating the cortisol or whatever it was. I don't know, but that was the things where I didn't really have any choice over it. But the other things when I would get into these rituals that I'd been into so long, I kind of understood that because your body, because I was feeding all the rest of the ritual. But I wonder, because I was kind of doing that too with that protocol. I wonder if you were to like I don't know, eat beef jerky, like one of those healthy beef jerkies that steak and butter gang giveaway. Like if you were to place that, like if you were to get yourself all excited about ice cream or whatever, and then go eat beef jerky, like I
Yeah.
wonder in like a month if you could use that process to make yourself like the beef jerky. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just a matter of changing your habits and replacing it with something new. Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
Okay.
If beef is getting bland, try adding a good quality salt and butter makes a huge difference. Have you tried smoked salt?
I haven't.
Yum.
Is
Yeah,
it
I get
good?
it from a place in Tasmania that I get it sent over. And it's got all different kind of flavoured salts. And it's all, yeah, very good quality salt, but it's just got a little bit of flavours, either smoked or
What kind
other
of smoke do they have?
flavors.
Like mesquite and hickory and those type of things?
Yeah, like they're smoked with different types of wood, so they've all got different types of flavours. And geez, it's a game changer. I love it, and I don't use a little bit. I will whack it all. Yeah, I love the flavour. Yeah,
I'll definitely try it
um,
because I bet that would be delicious and add some flavor to it.
yeah. Cheese and dairy, keep it or give it up. Or it's up to you, really. Does it? For me, I try not to have it because I can't moderate cheese. I like it too much, and if it's there, I love it. So I stay away. Milk and things, I'm not a big milk fan at all. It's never been an issue for me, so I stay away from it. I don't use cream. I know a lot of people do. It can cause weight stalls and things like that. So if you're trying to lose weight, it's probably not a good idea. But if you're at your goal weight or you need to put on weight, then that's a good option as well. But it's just experiment for yourself and to see how your body reacts
For sure.
for everyone.
I think it's absolutely you got to use the carnivore diet as an elimination diet, and then find a base marker that you can pay attention to, like ketones or how you're sleeping, how you're feeling, energy levels, fluid retention, all those things, and then start taking things away. And if it makes a positive difference, that's what I did. And yeah, unfortunately, the dairy all had to go. Well, butter's still technically dairy. I still eat butter, but that's the only one I hold on to.
Ground beef and eggs can be easy to get burned out on. Yeah, I'm not a fan of ground beef. I find it really dry, even when I put egg yolks or butter in it just to try and I don't know, make it not as dry. I still struggle to get it down. I just feel like a coconut because it's so dry. And I wish I could have it more. Even hamburgers, like if you make some hamburger patties, I just find it too dry and just gets stuck. So I don't
Yeah.
have a lot of ground beef.
Yeah, I like to take the ground beef because I agree. When you make patties, they're pretty dry, but I mean you can make them
Yeah,
juicier if you I don't know what temperature you cook them, but you can make them juicier if you cook them, but at a low temperature and take them off a little rare. But what I like to do with ground beef is I like to chop it up and make and I like to get like the 80/20, so kind of higher fat or 73, and then add a
hmm,
little butter to it, and I brown the butter with the ground beef. But then I add that xanthan gum to it. That takes,
yeah,
yeah, and so now it's ground beef slathered with brown gravy. And that's pretty addictive. I like that. But I do the same thing with like chuck roast and everything. That's why I don't like slow cooked almost anything, because those big tough pieces of meat are dry. They just don't hold moisture.
yeah, yeah. I don't like
Yeah.
rice.
Yeah,
Mm,
but it is a game changer if you use the xanthan gum and like beef broth. Then you make this gravy, and now there's gravy coat and everything. And I have not had a problem with the xanthan gum. I'm still waiting for somebody to chew me out about it, but the xanthan gum's
yeah, I haven't had it, and this is to me, it's just another thing that I might be addicted
yeah,
to or enjoy too much. So I just not going to pay and buy it, and yeah.
yeah, exactly.
So
No, it's the only thing that I would question, but it hasn't hurt me yet. Well, I shouldn't say that. One side effect to that is when when it bonds the beef broth to all the fat, and then you're eating it, you can definitely get too much fat and find yourself in the bathroom the rest of the evening. That's the thing that can happen.
yeah.
And here is Mario. From my experience, and all cancer people got pancreas problems, fungi problems, constipation, or diarrhea, stress, and toxicity. Basically, all this makes
The
the
biofilm
biofilm, yeah,
skyrocket.
skyrocket in the immune system. I believe you. Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I get a bit lost with all of this, but I do
Yeah.
believe, yeah, I don't have much trust in doctors when it comes to diet. Nah, neither do I. I've had some nasty
By much,
experiences.
if you mean negative, like negative 20, I'm there with you.
Told you had some scary things going on. Scary?
Yeah, I think you mean health things. Absolutely.
Mm. God helps us through all things. Yeah.
Facts.
Once in a while, when I feel I must have it, I will make ice cream with egg yolks, heavy whipping cream, and vanilla stevia. Put in ice trays, freeze it, and then ready. I throw it in the blender. Is that like a Dr. Phil's kind of recipe ice cream? I wonder. Yeah, I would love to try that, but I just know I couldn't moderate it. And he's always from time to time. Lindy doesn't do time to time with ice cream, so yeah, I can't have that. Smoked salt is so good. Yes, it is.
I'm gonna have to
Definitely.
try it.
Yeah, yeah, get some.
I'm just so I used to like to smoke food, and like if you got the things that were pre-smoked in my world, you would kind of get shamed for not smoking it yourself. So so if you use like liquid smoke or smoke flavoring or something to try to make your food taste smoked without smoking it, you
Yeah.
would get destroyed. So I always stayed away from those, but I could definitely see where that would be a game changer. I'm gonna have to give it a try.
My son-in-law just bought a smoker and he's been smoking things for my daughter. So yeah, I'm waiting for our invite. Hint, hint, if he's watching, so we can go have a smoked something or other. Yeah,
That'll be fun.
Redmond, Redmond chili lime salt is good. It's very expensive to have it shipped to Australia. I did have some Redmond salt shipped over here, and it cost me more in delivery than the salt actually. Yeah, so
Wow.
I
Well,
get mine from Tasmania now.
next time you come back from a trip from the United States, you're gonna have to smuggle a 50-pound carry on Redmonds.
Yeah, yeah. When you guys come visit me
I'll
in
bring
America,
you.
bring some
Yeah,
salt. Yeah, and
I'll
some.
hide it under my hat.
Yeah, and I'd like some carnivore crisps and the carnivore bars because they don't deliver to Australia. So I'll
Really?
just put my orders in now. Yeah.
I think you need to talk to your congressman.
I know. I'm gonna have to get all the Aussies and New Zealanders to rally and protest. I think we want carnival bars and carnival crisps here, please. Get a bidet makes life real easy.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. If I eat that, if I eat too much of that xanthan gum and gravy, I'd get my money out of it for sure.
I don't eat hamburger meat anymore and eggs once in a while. Yeah, not a big fan of the ground beef. My husband, I make like a slice. So I get the ground beef and I put some eggs in it and just, yeah, salt. And then I put it in a tray. I press it into it and make almost like a big slice and then chop it into bits and I'll pack it in his lunch. And he has that as snacks. He loves it. So, yeah, Laura Spath makes all her meals with cheese. I'm like, what the heck? Well, she's looking good, so she's at her
Yeah,
maintenance level, so it's working for her. So for me, it's a no go. So
some
yeah,
people are just blessed.
yeah,
That's all I can say.
yeah. But I think she has said that if she does have too much, like she can feel it, so she'll have to cut back. So I guess she knows her limits now. She knows what her body is doing and what she can tolerate. And yeah, listening to your body is a big thing that we learn. Have you tried chicken skin fried till crispy? I get it for $3 a kilo from the butcher here in Perth. Great. I haven't, but I'd love to. I love chicken skins. Again, I'm scared that I won't be able to moderate. I'd probably eat the whole 3 kilo bag or whatever. So yeah, I haven't done that. I know they come in
I
as carnival crisps. You can get the chicken flavored ones. Uh, I would love to try those one day.
yeah, that would be pretty tasty. I bet. Yep.
Give me my ribeye.
Ribeyes are hard to beat. Like 9 days out of 10, I'm always ready for a ribeye. It's that one day when you just had like 18, 20 pounds of ribeye over the last several days, and you're like, even a New York to mix it up, a New York strip loin or a chuck roast or something, just to throw a curveball into it, just does plenty. And then but what's crazy, I mean, all of a sudden you eat just a bunch of eggs or whatever for a few days, and then you come back to that ribeye, and man, is it amazing! Just like two
Yeah,
days off is like, this is so good. Why did I stop eating these?
it's
uh,
definitely good to change things up a little.
yep.
Well, Laura had half her stomach chopped off so she can get away with cheese.
I I'll take that just to make me feel better, but I think she earned it, but I'll take that for sure.
Pretty tasty sprinkled with your Redmonds.
Yeah, I think chicken skin and salt. I think that one would be hard to beat for sure. That'd be pretty tasty.
Have you done that? Have you gone and bought chicken skins or?
No, I just fried chicken here. That was always my favorite part when I did eat chicken. Was the breaded, crispy, salty, fatty, crisp chicken skin. You weren't, and of course
Yeah,
back then you're not supposed to eat that stuff. Turns out it was the best part. But we needed the
yeah.
fat, and the collagen. But
I
yeah, that
like
was
it for
always
next time we have like a social gathering, and I like doing all sort of a little platter with all carnival snacks, and that might be a good one to put on that
yeah.
tray. So just for like a special occasion. So
I have done those pepperonis and like salami, where you take the pepperonis and the salamis and put it on a tray and you bake it to till it's a chip. You
Yep.
know, like I like those. Those are
Okay.
pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, those I've done. Let's see here. Well, we are coming up on the 2 hour mark, and I think because we have messed with our timing, we've confused the people, and so I think we are going to cut this one just a little bit early. But we will be back on Sunday American times. This is
Monday Australian time.
yeah, Monday Australian time. We will be back and we will be more prepared and on the ball and ready for more comments. I appreciate you guys hanging out with us. It's amazing. And I would love to see you guys there next week. We just, man, it's so much fun chatting with you guys, and the comments we get, the success stories, the people reaching out, they're just incredible. And this is just, if you guys could see all the stories out there that are coming in, it's just amazing. People are changing their lives every day with carnivore, and we are so grateful for it. And it surely has given us our lives back in the future. And we just hope to keep sharing it. In the future, we're going to start doing some interviews when we're not so terribly green at all this. And so we're going to
Yeah, we're
start doing,
still
yeah,
finding our feet with this all, and yeah, we really appreciate your patience. And if you have any questions for future, upcoming videos, let us know and we can address those. And we love the chat. It's a really safe space. We'd like to keep it as safe as we can, and everyone to feel comfortable. Yeah,
right. Absolutely. So we appreciate you guys. We appreciate you guys hanging out with us. Hang in there. Stay carnivore. Keep up the fight until it's not a fight anymore. And we will see you next time.
great. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.